Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer, served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
It is time again. Steve Sparky Fifer with you as we broadcast live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you. Charlie Usen, other side of the glass. Always fun hanging out with y'all. Brewers going on right now. We have not heard from Thunder. Have you heard from Thunder?
I have not. No, not yet.
No. Okay. Maybe text him and see. It was supposed to be after every inning, but I didn't know if he was listening and knew we had a fantasy football guy, so that's probably why he didn't call in, which would make sense. I wanted to get into this deal with Matt LaFleur, however. So Matt LaFleur, the Packers head coach, took issue before yesterday's practice with an issue that he had with the offense specifically. And the issue that he had with the offense is that they were fumbling the ball too much. LaFleur said, quote, "I got on the guys this morning about exposing the football. Certainly, we all know what kind of player Tucker Kraft is and can be. He can't allow Evan Williams to reach around and punch a ball out. So it is challenging everybody, and hopefully that makes us that much better." So that's what LaFleur said. Now, to set this up, Matt Schneidman laid this all out in his piece at The Athletic. He said the first fumble came well after play ended when safety Javon Bullard punched the ball out of his hands and safety Xavier McKinney scooped it up. The second came after catching a short pass off a Jordan Love bootleg when safety Evan Williams knocked the ball loose in bounds, but the ball fell out of bounds. So, that is the background. Here is Tucker Kraft after practice yesterday, which was a little testy, right? So I'm guessing Tucker Kraft already was in a bad mood because there were some extracurricular activities going on between the offense and the defense. Yeah, we had Matt LaFleur yelling at Rasheed Walker because he got into with Ngabare during a play, and he made Rasheed Walker run. And then these dudes, the offensive linemen, the tight ends, the running backs, we'll come with you. So they made a lap with Rasheed Walker. So there was a whole bunch of stuff going on. So I'm sure he was already in a bad mood to begin with. And then as soon as practice is done, we got to talk about what LaFleur said about you fumbling the football. This is what Tucker Kraft had to say after practice yesterday.
One unit, man. We get punished, we get punished together. It's just the way I see it. A little Coach Carter-esque, I guess.
Goody was talking this morning about, when he was talking about Hobbs, he said we need to have that sort of edge to go far in the playoffs. Is there a line that can't be crossed, though? And what was Matt's message to you guys in the huddle after practice about that?
Yeah, we're not the only team dealing with people playing on the edge. He's a new face. There's different ways people practice in different facilities. Third year in a row, we're the youngest team in the NFL. That's just a part of the growing pains that we're going to go through. It's just instrumental to make sure everybody's on the same page moving forward. We want to avoid, obviously, anything extra. We don't want to create any division by our play styles. We want to continue to keep everybody healthy.
Matt mentioned to us this morning that you guys got to stop putting the ball on the ground, and he mentioned you specifically. Have you been hard on yourself the first couple days since you've let a couple loose?
Yeah, sure. It's something we're always working on. I'd say a lot of the times there's certain rules you play with in practice, like just letting the defense punch you repeatedly. You're not allowed to stiff arm, things like that. I guess all I have are excuses. Yes, I'm working on not fumbling the ball in practice.
Well, because the first one wouldn't actually be a fumble. It was well after the play. But I'm just asking because LaFleur brought up your name with us this morning specifically.
Yeah, that's just a yes sir, no sir mentality with Coach at this point. You want to obviously keep the ball in the offensive possession as long as possible. Bus fine, in my opinion.
Bus fine? What?
But whatever.
What does that even mean?
allowed to stiff arm in practice?
Correct. Offense is not allowed to extend their hand into the defensive player's face in practice.
How does that make you feel?
It's a large part of my game. I use my offhand as a weapon repeatedly all the time. I've shown that. So I get my reps in that when we play games, I guess.
How do you pull back from something that's so second nature to you?
I just play by the rules. I don't make them.
Overall, though, as far as just like the physicality, the intensity, do you feel like it's now that the pads are on, at least for this start, is it at the level, it's expected and where it should be with this team?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that are just trying to find their footing right now, and being able to put the pads on kind of brings a new level to that. Your technique should always be your main focus, but having the pads on allows you to play a little bit harder, more physical. But yeah, I love popping the pads. So I think it's a great opportunity for people to find out more about themselves on the field here at the pro level.
So there's Tucker Kraft talking. Tucker Kraft not happy with Matt LaFleur. That whole bussin' thing or whatever the heck he said, that was followed up because I don't think the reporters knew what the heck he was talking about. And his response was, oh, he threw me under the bus. That's what bussin' means, right? LaFleur threw him under the bus. And obviously, Tucker Kraft did not appreciate it at all. So the question is, was LaFleur in the wrong for calling out Tucker Kraft yesterday? Nicolay Law Fan Talk text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Sound off with a recorded voice message on the Odyssey app, Facebook, and Twitter at The Fan Milwaukee. Use that YouTube chat as well. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can stream us live there. Watch shorts, watch videos. All you have to do is search The Fan Milwaukee on YouTube, and you will be all set, ready to go. And again, subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family members. YouTube and The Fan Milwaukee, hand in hand. Let's see where we go on first. Before we get to some calls, let's check back in at American Family Field. He is Mitch Thunder Nellis with the latest on the Fan Guest Hotline powered by Gruber Law. What's going on, Mitch?
Nothing great, Sparky. Last time we checked in, it was 5-1, then 5-2 Cubs. The Brewers got a sac fly from Sal Frelick to cut the lead to 5-3. But since then, the Cubs have poured on 3 more runs against the Brewers bullpen. Again, Freddie Peralta only won 4 innings. DL Hall pitched a clean 5th, but then came out for the 6th and just let everybody on base. And Jared Koenig then let all the inherited runners score. It is now 8-3 Chicago Cubs, and we are entering the top of the 7th. Not a great performance by the hometown 9 today.
No, but again, this was expected, right? I mean, eventually the Cubs were going to have their day where they were going to bust out offensively a little bit, and it happened today against the Brewers, and we were talking about this at the beginning of the game, Charlie and I. This is a much bigger game for the Cubs than it is for the Brewers. They lose. They're down 3 in the division. If the Brewers lose, they still win the series and are still up a game on the division going into tomorrow.
Yeah, I think there's something to that. It's, playing with house money a little bit, knowing that regardless of what happens in the game today, you've won the series, you're leaving the series in first place. It's nice to stomp on the Cubs, and it's nice to, whenever you have an opportunity to get that win and separate yourselves a little bit more. But you're not going to silence the Cubs bats for that long. This is a very, very strong hitting baseball team. More concerning, I think, is, last time out, Freddie Peralta only pitched 5 innings and was in the high 90s in terms of pitch count. This performance, only 4 innings, and struggled a little bit, and making sure that he's not getting into one of his ruts that we saw him before this season. He often was that high pitch volume, low inning guy, and making sure he reverts back to the form that we saw in the first half of the season, where he really was the ace of the staff.
All right, very good. Thank you so much, Mitch Thunder Nellis. We'll check in with you again before the game is over. There he is on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Speaking of Mitch Thunder Nellis, did you know that Thunder at the Fair begins tomorrow? Yes! Thunder at the Fair. Bring your umbrella tomorrow from 11 to 2 right there by the Expo building at the Wisconsin State Fair. Come hang out, get an autograph from Thunder, get your picture taken with Thunder. And if you need some food analysis, I'm sure he'll tell you where the best places to
Nobody
eat
better.
at the Wisconsin State Fair are.
Even I'm saying that. Nobody better.
Yeah. I talked to Thunder today. I was like, hey, man. We don't need 3 hours of food analysis at the Wisconsin State Fair tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, we can still talk some sports. We don't need all food talk all the time with Mitch Thunder.
You can start a Patreon for him. That's something new for you too, Sparky. And then he can do all the food analysis he wants on there.
I do know Patreon.
Oh, you do? Oh, that surprises me.
I do know Patreon because it was who is the quarterback that was running the Patreon, the quarterback school? Who is that? That's JT O'Sullivan.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a Patreon account. Yeah. So that's how I know about it, is for JT O'Sullivan. Can't say I know anything other than JT O'Sullivan and Patreon. I don't think I know anybody else that has a Patreon account. So do explain to me, what the hell is a Patreon account? I know you can make money that way.
Yeah, so it's just like a premium extra side for like fans of some sort of content to pay extra for extra content. So more videos, behind the scenes stuff,
Right.
all of that. So like JT O'Sullivan, he probably has extra clips of him talking to the quarterbacks, or some like training videos for fans to watch, or something like that.
Earlier in the show, we had breaking news on Shannon Sharp and being ousted by ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
We have more breaking news about another media personality, former player. Former NBA star Gilbert Arenas and 5 others were arrested Wednesday in Los Angeles. The Department of Justice said in a statement, not the cops, the Department of Justice. This is not good for Gilbert. Arenas has been charged with 3 felony counts for allegedly running an illegal gambling business and hosting high-level poker games at his California home. He is said to be arraigned Wednesday in U.S. District Court in L.A. Arenas this is from The Athletic, ran an illegal gambling ring from September 21 through July of 22, according to an indictment filed by federal prosecutors. They claim he hosted games at his Encino, California mansion and collected rent through an intermediary, while 4 others, including something Gershman, who the government claims is an Israeli organized crime member, ran games like Pot Limit, Omaha Poker, and more. Gershman also hired young women to work the games, serving drinks and massages, and gave back a portion of their earnings to the people running the operation, according to federal prosecutors. He is also being indicted on 3 counts based on allegations that he committed marriage fraud. What the hell is that? So there you go. More of the story coming soon. That's the latest from The Athletic on Gilbert Arenas. Good luck to you.
That's insane. Again, just another piece to this whole big puzzle. It's another gambling thing, and again, it's between a media personality now and a former player. And marriage fraud is crazy too. That's like green card marriages, stuff like that, like faking a marriage in order to get somebody into the country.
That's the Israeli dude, I think.
Still being associated with
is the Israeli
being
guy.
Associated with that in general is still not a good look for Gilbert Arenas.
Yevgeny Gershman, who the government claims is an Israeli organized crime member.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's insane. This is crazy.
Way to hang out with the right people, Gilbert Arenas.
Well, I mean, Gilbert hasn't always made the best of choices in his lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, and he's got that podcast that is killing it. Him and Brandon Jennings and those guys, like, they're doing... I think he's nuts with a lot of what he says. But either way, I mean, he's made something out of it. He's getting a lot of push. He's getting on TV, getting interviews. He was on Rich Eisen. Was he on Rich Eisen like 3 weeks ago?
I think he was on ESPN during the NBA Finals.
Yes.
This guy was at the top of his game.
Now, all kinds of trouble.
Oh, Brandon Jennings is probably happy he gets to take over the podcast.
Well, I'm assuming Brandon Jennings is not involved in this, because Brandon Jennings' name is not involved in this. It says, was arrested Wednesday. 5 others were arrested. I would assume if there were other former NBA players, they would be named as well. So I'm assuming no other former NBA players are involved in this. So, yeah, that's not good for Gilbert Arenas.
No, not at all.
And again, it wasn't the police department that came and got him. The feds got his butt.
What is going on?
That is not good. Okay, coming up next, we'll check in, do our Green and Gold update brought to you by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Ryan Wood of the Green Bay Press-Gazette will join us. And don't forget, if you love Wendy's classic chocolate and vanilla Frosty flavors, there's some big news. They're all new Frosty Swirls and now Frosty Fusions. It's the same creamy treat you've always loved, now with a flavor refresh. So what are these new flavors? Okay, well, you got the Frosty Swirls, strawberry, brownie batter, and caramel. The Frosty Fusions, Oreo brownie, caramel crunch, and Pop-Tart strawberry. So cock in for sweet treat time with Wendy's all new Frosty flavors. A refresh on a classic, it's gotta be Wendy's. Hey, man, I was there last night at Wendy's. Fam, we all went, whatever. My kid had 2 double stacks at 9 years old. I had 2 double stacks. Had one,
My man.
and then asked, could he have another?
My man.
Sure. So that kid, he needs to add weight. So he had 2 double stacks last night. Got done with that, and then had a medium Frosty to go with the 2 double stacks that he had. Kay had the baked potato, the chili cheese baked potato or whatever. She loves that. So she had that, and then her and the 3-year-old split a vanilla caramel Frosty swirl. And I went with the ooey gooey Cinnabon, and it was so good. Oh my goodness, it's so good. That was my dessert. I had the spicy chicken sandwich, but it was so.
They're
so
delicious,
good.
but again,
So
I just
good.
hate the way you say it. Like,
Ooey gooey.
awful. It's not as bad as some other things, but that's
I know. Ryan Wood comes up next. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the 1250 AM 1057 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Time for your fan weather forecast. It's wet outside, folks. It's wet. It's going to continue to be wet until at least 6, 7 o'clock tonight, looks like. And then maybe it slows down based on the forecast around 6 or 7. So there is that. 66 degrees going on right now. Air quality alert in play now until 7 o'clock tonight. That's good because yesterday that thing was going until Thursday at some point. So now air quality alert until 7 o'clock tonight with a low of 62. I just gotta say, I there's a part of me that's happy the Cubs got 8 runs. There is, because now Cub fans can be like Brewer fans and can say, "Oh, see, we're good. We scored 8 on the Brewers. We're only a game behind them. We don't need to change anything. We're good. We don't gotta go get any pitching, any hitting. We just beat the best team in baseball. We're good. We don't need to add anything. We'll be fine." You think Cub fans are going to be fine because they beat the Brewers today and not want to add anything like seemingly every Brewers fan I talk to thinks right now for the Brewers?
Probably not.
Probably not, no. Probably not. Unbelievable.
It's time for your green and gold update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan with Steve Sparky Fifer.
To the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. Haven't talked to this dude since May. I didn't realize it'd been that long. I went to text and I was like, oh my God, it's been a minute. Ryan Wood of the Green Bay Press Gazette, Packer beat writer. Follow him on Twitter at @ByRyanWood. You can see his pretty bald mug right there on YouTube. Search The Fan Milwaukee and you will see it. We were talking about this very topic, bald heads, earlier in the show. We're talking about, nobody's bald head is photographed more than Rob Domofsky's bald head and put on social media. But then we were having the conversation of those people that are losing their hair that then decide to make the choice to shave it all off because they think they look better. What was the situation for you, Ryan Wood, that you decided to shave it all off?
Oh, I held on to mine about 4 years too late. I should have let go around the age of 28. I always, even as a kid, and my oldest son's afflicted by the same thing, it's genetics. Even as a kid, I had that very high hairline. The writing was always on the wall, and I was very stubborn. It was about the age of 32 that I finally took the plunge, and as soon as I did, I was like, what was I holding on for? I have no idea. You look at pictures of me in my late 20s, it was a travesty what was going on up there. So I will say this, Rob Domofsky has been trying to get me to wear a hat out at training camp practices. This is the time of year where you have to be very, very conscientious. If you don't, you turn into a tomato real quick out there.
Yes.
So far, I've been going with the trusty sunscreen. Haven't turned into a tomato, but it's precarious.
Why don't you just wear one of those big bucket hats that the coaches seemingly wear in high school and college and so forth out there?
I don't think I have a bucket hat type head. I don't think it just.
You have to have a certain type of head to wear a bucket hat?
You gotta have a certain head, yeah, for
certain
sure.
heads require certain hats, and yeah, every bald. You're not bald. You don't know this, Sparky.
No, but Gary Ellerson wears a bucket hat. He looks great on him.
He looks great. He's got a head for a bucket hat. He absolutely does. I do not. Me and Gary Ellerson do not have the same head.
All right. Okay. All right. I didn't know it was a touchy subject. I'm sorry.
It is.
I apologize.
You're not bald. You don't know these things.
No, I don't know those things, and that's why you're educating me, Ryan. No, that's fine. All right. All right. With the Green Bay Press Gazette joins us. I think the last segment we just talked about what happened with LaFleur calling out Kraft responding after practice. I think this is one of the only times that I can remember since LaFleur's been here where a player was clearly agitated by LaFleur calling him out in the media when the media went to talk to that player. Would you agree with that assessment or no?
Yeah, probably. Look, Tucker Kraft is understandably a little sensitive because he's put the ball on the ground twice already, and he's done so without being able to do what he feels is his entire repertoire. We've seen Tucker Kraft, the Yak King, the Yak God. We know what he can do when he has the football in his hands, catching those leaks, those check downs, those little out routes. He likes a good stiff arm. Well, in practice, stiff arm, and he was telling me this. I spoke with him for about 8 minutes a couple days ago about a more pertinent subject, I think. How do the Packers offense get Tucker Kraft, feature him to be that number one? Because I think that he is a rare breed of tight end.
Agreed.
There's not a lot of those guys in this league. He has shown to have the potential to be one of them. I was talking about that, and Tucker Kraft just randomly told me, I can't use my stiff arm out here. That's bothering him. He's not happy about it. He likes a good stiff arm. So I think it's coming from that sensitivity, that place of I can't use the stiff arm. What do you want me to do? I can't punch a guy in the face like I can in a game. Of course, they're going to get a better shot on the ball when I can't keep them away. So this will all blow over. But I think the bigger thing is Tucker Kraft. How does schematically, because he's also fundamental to their blocking game. He's a big reason why the Packers were top 5 rushing offense last year. It wasn't just Josh Jacobs, that offensive line. It was Tucker Kraft It was his blocking ability. And when you have a blocking tight end, classic inline, you also need to have a guy that's closer to the line of scrimmage. It's harder to get him downfield. Schematically, how do you open up those opportunities? Because every time Tucker Kraft went downfield last year, he made plays. That should be a big part of their arsenal as well.
Talking with Ryan Wood, Packers, a beat writer for the Green Bay Press Gazette here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on the Fancy. Sparky Fifer with you. So a lot to be made, and obviously we weren't there, so we rely on all you guys that are there that are giving us play-by-play on Twitter to tell us what all is going on there. But apparently there was some extracurricular activity in this practice yesterday that LaFleur was mad about. So what exactly went down that triggered Rasheed Walker and others to go run a lap at a practice?
Yeah, well, this has been bubbling really since the start of camp, really since Nate Hobbs. This might have been day 1, day 2, ran through Dontavian Wicks without pads to force an incompletion. I mean, it kind of started there. The new guy comes in, and the Packers love this about Nate Hobbs. He has physicality as a corner. He's not a corner that's just there to cover. He wants to hit you too. They want that in their secondary. It's just that hitting on game day in the fall is good. Hitting when it's non-padded against your own teammate, not so good. So when that happens, Matt LaFleur, to his credit, went right up to Nate Hobbs early in camp, said, hey, that's not it. That's not what we want to do here. But it started to build from that. And then, Nate Hobbs goes in and he hits Marshawn Lloyd. And the Packers say that the groin injury to Marshawn Lloyd was not a contact hit. It came before the contact, but he still hit the guy. And it just starts to grow to the point of yesterday. I was walking off the practice field thinking, I've never seen a practice, certainly in Matt LaFleur's time, maybe not in my time of the beat, going back to 2014, where you had so many guys on the ground. Every single coach in the NFL will tell you this time of year when it's teammate on teammate, they do not want anyone on the ground. Keep your feet, play through the whistle, but not after. Nothing after. And there's a lot of after going on yesterday. And then I'm walking in, and Tom Silverstein, my colleague, he asked me and Pete Doherty, he's like, you remember that practice way back when Josh Sitton was actually swinging his helmet around? So I mean, this type of thing does happen, but it is rare, and it crossed some lines yesterday. So Kingsley Enagbare was engaged with Rasheed Walker, and after the whistle, he's bowling him over, and Rasheed Walker pulls him on the ground. Next thing you know, Matt LaFleur's losing his mind a little bit on the sideline, saying he's not going to take that, and sends Rasheed Walker to run a lap. And then Tucker Kraft, Josh Sitton, Zach Tom, some guys on the offensive line, they join him and they do the lap with him, which is good solidarity. But at the end of the day, yeah, you want that physicality. You do not want guys on the ground after the whistle. They have to clean that up because that's when injuries happen. Sparky, I think it's going to be very interesting when the Indianapolis Colts joint practice, when the Seattle Seahawks come in here. There's been some angst that might bubble over. That's going to be very interesting when they're going against someone else in camp.
Said it yesterday. Again, I wasn't there, but I said it yesterday and I said it again. I absolutely love it. And if I was Matt LaFleur, I'd go in the locker room after I said what I said on the field. I'd go to Jeff Half and be like, publicly, I'm going to absolutely blast y'all, and I'm going to do it in front of the team and everything else. But I do not want anything changing of how these guys are playing defensively. This Packers team, in my lifetime, I don't believe they've ever really played with an edge since Gilbert, Leroy, and those guys, and Wayne Simmons back in the day. I mean, that was the last time they really kind of played with an edge. You got a little bit of it maybe when Clay was there and so forth, but it was never an intimidating Rex Ryan type defense where when you saw these guys, you knew it was going to be a street fight and they did not care about you or your livelihood or anything about your family. They were going to run through you to get to whoever they had to get to. And when they got there, if that player got hurt, whatever, we're just doing our jobs and we're going to go on to the next play and try and take out the next dude. If that type of mentality comes through this defense this year, this defense is going to be significantly better. If you've got Hobbs playing like that, if you've got Cooper playing like with that, Enagbare, I think, definitely has the wherewithal to play like that as well. I think Gary could play like that and has that type of mentality. If you start playing like that and knocking jokers backwards and doing that type of stuff, that can get into offenses' heads, and all of a sudden they start to be on a swivel a little bit, making sure somebody's not coming to take a shot at them.
Well, one of the most impressive things I've seen through the first week of camp, outside of Matthew Golden, because Matthew Golden's just been downright impressive. Outside of Matthew Golden, one of the most impressive things I've seen, because it happened right in front of me, it was the type of play that exemplified why Rashawn Gary was a Pro Bowler last year, despite the fact that he didn't blow up with 15 sacks. He was chasing down from the backside Jaden Reed all the way to the sideline on one of those jet sweeps. right in front of me before the sideline. The play's over, but Rashawn Gary punches out the football, forces a fumble that goes out of bounds, but punches it out with such ferocity that it was like, it was jolting. It started just the way that he punched at it. And it was very interesting then to have that in mind. And today, Jeff Hafley says, they took the ball away last year. Didn't force enough fumbles. They've got Wendell Davis, their defensive quality control coach, who they don't call Wendell Davis anymore. He is the ball king, known as the ball king inside 1265 Lombardi. He starts every meeting because, as Jeff Hafley says, the ball is the most important thing. And their entire focus, their emphasis, their priority number one in this camp is attacking the football to force more fumbles. Here's the interesting thing about that, Sparky. Yeah, they had a lot of interceptions last year, 17. They were
a lot of that was McKinney, but
they were third in the league in fumbles recovered too with 14. It's not like they didn't force fumbles last year, and yet the number one priority for this defense coordinator is forcing more fumbles. This is a guy who's not resting on the fact that they had takeaways last year, just assuming that's going to happen again. He wants more.
This is the thing, Ryan Wood. I know a lot of times over our course of years interacting during training camp, maybe I overreact to things that ain't training camp, and you're like, Sparky, chill out, just relax, it's training camp. But I'm always going to do it till the day I die, so, I think by this point you're used to it. But when I read on my social media that Van Ness is beating Jordan Morgan multiple times, I just kind of shake my head. And I'm not shaking my head because I'm impressed by Van Ness. I'm shaking my head because, again, we got a first-round pick that wasn't able to get on the field last year. I'm not quite sure he's going to be able to crack the starting five this year, getting beat by a guy that has been a bust to this point of his career, not getting to the quarterback. I don't know how you look at that by him getting beat on one-on-ones, if it's a big deal to you or not, but if it is that more of a positive about how much better Van Ness is, or is it, oh no, Jordan Morgan still isn't where he needs to be?
Well, first of all, Sparky, it brings me great comfort to know that you get us. You get our dynamic. You freak out, and I'm here as kind of the ice pack to just say it's okay. It's going.
But Ryan, okay. That's the dynamic everybody seemingly has with me. Anytime I have anybody on, you get off real easy. If you go back and listen to interviews I do with Andrew Wagner, who covers the Brewers, who's on with me twice a week, you should have heard me yelling and screaming at him for 15 minutes the other day about the Brewers doing nothing at the trade deadline. I don't yell and scream at you, really. I try and treat you very nicely. Yes, I do.
We've been down that rabbit hole. So,
yeah.
Look, the answer to your question is we'll find out. I'm not real sure. I think that there's some logic with Lucas Van Ness, the fact that he's able to play with two hands now. Last year in camp, through the first half of the season, he wasn't playing with two hands. If you're an edge rusher, you need to use your hands. That is the game. So he's got two hands. That should be better. Jeff Hafley was singing Lucas Van Ness's praises early day for his start to camp. So we'll see. With both those guys, I kind of need to see something when it matters before I really have an idea. Lucas Van Ness, I need to see those counter moves, those pass rush tools, the bend, the torque coming off the edge. I need to see that in games more consistently before I'm able to say, yeah, okay, but he's playing with two hands. That should help. Jordan Morgan, I need to see him actually, with Elton Jenkins back at center, finally they're going to be able to open up this left tackle competition. I don't know if it's a competition or a competition in air quotes, because I'd be shocked if Rasheed Walker is not only your starting left tackle week one, but throughout this season. I don't see Jordan Morgan beating out Rasheed Walker. Not that Rasheed Walker's an all-pro. He's not, but he's a starting caliber left tackle. There's not a lot of those guys in this league. The Packers have one. I just don't see that happening. But without Elton Jenkins, Sean Ryan's at center, which means that Jordan Morgan's at guard, which means Rasheed Walker's taking all left tackle team reps. Now Jordan Morgan should be able to get more reps at left tackle. We'll see if that happens or not. But I didn't see it last year from Jordan Morgan. I need to see it. He is a first-round pick, but I need to see it before I can say, okay, there's something there.
I don't know. This is going to be the question, but I don't know who your one or two players are that you're interested in kind of watching here. Obviously, everybody's watching Golden, and he's done well so far. But for me, I really am wondering to see how they use Belton, because in my mind, he can be right tackle, and Tom can slide into guard after this year if they want to go that way, because you just gave Tom a contract, so he's not going to complain. He's getting paid regardless. Or you could put Belton at right guard and leave Tom at right tackle. and solidify that right side. No matter which way you go, you take care of that right side with Jenkins in the middle. Then you have a mammoth guy at left guard in Banks already, and then Rasheed Walker stays at left tackle, or Jordan Morgan goes there. That is a people-moving offensive line, I think, going forward.
Yeah, Belton has the size for sure to go inside and play guard. He can maul people. Zach Tom now has the money. He told me it was very important to him to be paid like a top right tackle, despite the versatility, because he's been a top right tackle and now he's paid like a top right tackle, fourth in the league at his position. That will help when if there's a time that he comes inside and plays guard. Now, I don't see that happening. I think Brian Gutekunst made it very clear that he secured himself at right tackle. You have a good right tackle. You have a good tackle in general. You don't want to move him inside. So I think Zach Tom stays there. What does that mean for Belton? Rasheed Walker might walk in a year, and maybe it's Anthony Belton who's the left tackle. Maybe it's Jordan Morgan by that time. We'll see. Maybe they do keep Rasheed Walker. It's just a lot of money for the offensive line. But to kind of flip things, Sparky, what you're saying to the guy I have my eye on, I'm real curious about Isaiah Simmons. He is a guy, when it comes to the just pure athletic, God-given traits, you can see why he was the 8th pick in the 2020 draft. What I haven't seen yet, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist, because the proof is on his Pro Football Reference page, right? What I haven't seen yet is why he hasn't stuck, why this is his 3rd team in 4 or 5 seasons, why he hasn't been able to play up to that billing. The Packers have been giving Isaiah Simmons a ton of first-team reps in a way to make sure that they can figure out what there is there. Like, they're real interested themselves. If nothing else, last year, the Packers really, outside Quay Walker, they didn't have a guy at linebacker that had the physical tools to be that prototypical strong side linebacker to take on with the size and the athleticism, the drop in coverage. They didn't have that guy. Isaiah Simmons has strong side linebacker tools. That might only be 20% of the snaps, but when you're sharing a division with the Detroit Lions, that means more 4-3 in 2 of your biggest games of the year. You want to have a really staunch, strong side linebacker. Isaiah Simmons might be that guy. That's base level, like at the very least. What else could he do? I don't know, but he's got all that athleticism, all those athletic tools. I'm curious. I'm not saying he's going to be anything. I don't know. Maybe just a special teamer. I'm curious if the Packers coaching staff on the defensive side can pull out the best of Isaiah Simmons, because there's a lot there.
I mean, Simmons, Cooper, and Quay Walker seems to be, one of the more athletic linebacker groups in the NFL if they're all on the field at the same time.
Freaks. All 3 of those guys are athletic freaks. And we know it's in nickel. It's going to be Quay Walker. It's going to be Edgerrin Cooper. So if they're healthy, they're not going to leave the field much. But having a guy, having some depth, and Isaiah McDuffie doesn't have the freakish athleticism, but he's just a solid football player. There's some real depth at linebacker in a way that a few years ago going on, it just hadn't been that way for a long time.
No doubt about it. There he is, Ryan Wood of the Green Bay Press Gazette. Follow him on Twitter by Ryan Wood. And you can see him on YouTube as well, as we live stream all of our shows now, all of our local shows on YouTube. Just search The Fan Milwaukee, shorts, videos, live streaming of all the local shows. Ryan, thanks so much for coming on, man, and enjoy the rest of training camp. And good luck, because now you're in the thick of it, buddy.
Oh, these are the dog days. We'll do. I'll try to keep the head nice and pinkish rather than red.
Yeah, I would not. There's no way I'd be gambling. I'm a suntan lotion freak already. I layer it on. Oh, it's way too much for everybody in my family, but I'm not trying to get burned. There's absolutely no chance of that. Ryan, thank you, sir.
All right, take care.
There he is, Ryan Wood, joining us on the FanGuest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Sparky here, Charlie using other side of the glass. Brewers getting hammered now, 10-3.
Yeah, I thought all the Brewers had to do was get into the Cubs bullpen, right, Sparky?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. It's okay, though. I mean, seriously, I really hope that this organization takes the approach of the Brewers organization, that they're good. They're perfect. They don't need to add anything. They beat the Brewers. There's no need to add anything to our roster. We're fine. Everybody just relax. No need to trade prospects. We'll just go with what we have. We have enough to win a World Series with what we have. Everything's fine. That's the Brewers fan base right now. That's the Brewers front office right now. That's the Brewers ownership right now. They think we're fine. They think this is a World Series team. We're going to the World Series, folks. Don't need to add anything. Okay. Hope you're all right. To quick timeout, come back. Now, normally we would get to Charlie's Sounds of the Day coming up next, but this Brewers game is going to be over here momentarily, so there's no need to necessarily go to Charlie's Sounds of the Day. So instead, we will push that back to 4:20. Charlie's Sounds of the Day, we'll move that back to 4:20. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Potawatomi Sportsbook, man, 6,500 square feet of beautifulness, right? 2 levels, 2,000 square foot center screen. Potawatomi Sportsbook kitchen, amazing food. Whether it's the all-day brunch, burgers, wraps, wings, you name it, they got it. Plus, homemade desserts and pastries, 48 beers on tap, a dozen different specialty cocktails, gambling kiosks right when you get off at that 4th floor skywalk across from Rockin' Brews. You can make your bets there and then go hit one of the fine dining restaurants wherever you want to go across the Potawatomi Hotel Casino. That is where you want to go. Potawatomi Sportsbook, the best place to watch a sporting event in Wisconsin and probably in the Midwest at this point. It is very cool. Go to Potawatomi.com/sportsbook to reserve your seat today. Potawatomi.com/sportsbook. Welcome back. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. See Sparky Fifer here. Charlie Usen, other side of the glass, producing today's show. Brewers down 10-3, bottom of 9 with a couple of outs. So this one is about to be over. And then we'll do a little post-game wrap-up, right, of what happened in today's game. Brewers now will be one game ahead of the Chicago Cubs in the division, going into a series against the Washington Nationals. And I will tell you this right now, that I am perfectly happy and fine with the Brewers being one game up going into this series against the Nationals, Charlie. I have no problems winning 2 out of 3 from the Cubs.
Oh, definitely. I think that's a win no matter what. I mean, I came into this series saying that the Brewers really didn't have to win any of these games, in my opinion.
Well, they definitely had to win at least one.
Well, yes, I think that helps with the confidence and keeps you going. But how well you played against the Dodgers leading into the All-Star break and then out of All-Star break, taking on the Mariners and playing well against them. If you faltered for 2 of the games in this series, I think people would have been all right. You still would have been close, and the way that you drug yourself all the way back against this Cubs team in the standings already, you could do it again.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. I think right now that if you're Pat Murphy and the Brewers, you leave this series going, yeah, we'd like to get a sweep, but their offense was overdue to put up a bunch of runs on somebody. They're just too talented of an offense to eventually not bust out and do it. Peralta, as you pointed out, Charlie, prior to the show, was due to have something like this go down on Freddie Peralta. He'd won, 11 straight starts or something like that?
Yeah, it was a crazy number. It felt like this was a game where it was just going to catch up to him. I mean, he's been phenomenal this season. Even the best seasons of all time have 1 to 2 games where they just mess up at least a little bit.
Yes, no question. So, I mean, it all kind of just added up to this what's going to be a Brewers loss at the end of the day. So it's still 2 outs. Durbin with a base hit as the Brewers. I don't think they're going to rally from 7 down with 2 outs, but you never know. That's why they play the game at the end of the day. I'll tell you this. Tomorrow, I want to do it as a topic. I don't want to burn the topic today. And I think maybe Tommy and others who I was texting this with last night may have thought I was joking, but I'm not joking. I'm pretty serious about this at this point. If Andrew Vaughn plays like this the rest of the way out, do you think about extending him? He's got 1 year left on his deal next year. I mean, if he plays like he's playing all the way through the playoffs, right? Let's say he hits, I don't know, 280 to 300, somewhere in that area average-wise. Let's say a 350 on base percentage. He's already got, 5 home runs? So let's say he ends up hitting 15 home runs with the Crew after they trade for him and hits, 275, 280, 285 with the Brewers. Not talking about his White Sox time, just the Brewers time, right? Through the playoffs. Isn't that enough to be like, all right, dog, we don't got any other real answers here for the next couple of years. Everybody else is down in A-ball. So we're going to extend you a year or 2 here and get you solidified. And I don't think you got to pay Vaughn a whole bunch of money to get that done either, Charlie, because he's got 1 year left on his deal. And if he comes back next year and sucks, then out he goes to free agency. He's not going to get any money. You could probably get Vaughn at, I don't know what he's making this year. We'd have to look. But you could get Vaughn at $4-5 million a year?
He's making $4.6 million right now.
Yeah. So if you went to Vaughn and said, hey, dog, we'll give you 3 at 15, 3 at 18, $5 or $6 million a year, or 2, I guess would be a 2-year extension on top of his 1 year next year. And now you get 3 years of first base solidified at $5 or $6 million a year. I think you do that. Cubs beat the Brewers 10-3. Love to hear from you after this one. Nikolai Love Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Facebook and Twitter at The Fan Milwaukee. Sound off with a recorded voice message on the Odyssey app. Chat with us in YouTube, like Anton has some stuff up there as well. And Charlie will get to that here in a couple minutes. We'll read Anton's thing. So again, you can put messages up on the chat on YouTube. Charlie will read those. You can tweet at us, Facebook post us. Now, I will admit as a station, we suck at reading Facebook posts. We need to be better at reading Facebook posts on our topics. But that's something that we can also look at getting better at. But the Brewers lose to the Cubs. They take 2 out of 3. There's still a game up in first place as we sit here today getting ready to go into that Washington National Series. Now, Is there highlights from today's game, even though they lost? Of course there is. But before we do that, let's check in one last time with Mitch Thunder Nellis. Catch him with Thunder at the Fair. Bring your umbrella. Tomorrow, 11 to 2, right there outside of the Expo building. He'll be there live every day of the Wisconsin State Fair during weekdays. So Thursday and Friday this week, and then next week, Monday through Friday. So no Rich Eisen. For the next 7 shows, it will be Thunder at the Fair. So go check out with him. Give us the latest and the final for this Brewers-Cubs game, Mitch.
Finals 10-3 Cubs. How you doing, Sparky? 10 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Cubs. 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Brewers. Time of game was 2 hours, 2 minutes. Wow. 2 hours and 40 minutes. The Cubs win going away on this one. Ian Happ with a pinch hit homer late. Easton McGee, 2 innings, gave up 2 runs. Another one of those silver linings, I think. Mr. Contreras, William Contreras, with 2 solo home runs in this one, and kind of getting, if he's getting that power stroke going back, that can help out the team a lot. Winning 2 out of 3, still a game up. Going to Washington, another winnable series for this team. The Washington Nationals are not a very good team. And it's, it gave the Cubs fans a lot to cheer about today. They got very loud at the end of the game. I'm sure there'll be some skirmishes in the stands, but overall, like you said, at the end of the day, Brewers take 2 out of 3. Brewers are in first place.
I think you're happy. As a Brewers fan, you're happy because you're in first place by yourself, and now you got a very winnable series against the Nationals to go along with that, and you continue to build momentum now into the month of August. I think you're very happy. Thunder, thanks so much for coming on, and everybody, again, come get your picture taken with Thunder. Get an autograph from Thunder. If you're looking for advice of what to do at the Wisconsin State Fair, he has a ton of experience at the State Fair to give you advice on where to take your kids and what things there are to do at the State Fair. And then when Thunder's done at 2 o'clock, we'll be out there as well during Wisconsin State Fair every day with Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's from 2 to 5. Tommy will be out there on Friday with his leadoff show, 4:30 to 5:30. Back out there Monday and Tuesday, and Wednesday we'll be out there with the leadoff show too. So lots of fun stuff with the fan. We'll have T-shirts, bucket hats, pop sockets for phones to give away. And I think we've got a Plinko board coming out there we're going to have and some other stuff. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Let's just be ready to eat everything, Sparky.
Back to food. Do you ever not think about eating?
I'm always thinking, you know what? I love food. I really do. And I don't make that up. I really love food. The State Fair is one of the best places for it. I like to sample everything. I actually don't eat nearly as much as I say I do, but I try everything.
So do you try like the spider candy and the cricket
everything.
nachos?
Yep.
You do
Absolutely.
all that. You do it all.
Yep. I don't want to eat it all because, otherwise I'd be even heavier than I am right now, but I will try everything.
Try everything. All right, there he is. Mitch Thunder Nellis. Thank you, sir. Check him out. Thunder at the Fair tomorrow from 11 to 2 right there by the Expo building. Thank you, sir. There he is, Mitch Thunder Nellis. Fan Guest Hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. We'll come back. We'll take your calls, play some highlights from the game. Brewers lose to the Chicago Cubs today. The good news, though, is they still win 2 out of 3 after a 10-3 loss. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the 1250 AM at 105.7 FM, The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you.